Hey, what's up everyone? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this video we are looking at the SH Figuarts Super Saiyan VEGETA Dragon Ball Z character. Probably the most sought after of the DBZ SH Figuarts figures currently. And there's a lot of speculation as to whether or not he's going to make a new appearance, a reappearance as a reissue, or an SDCC exclusive. As of right now, there is no official word on what the SDCC exclusive is going to be. So if anybody tells you otherwise, they are incorrect, unless it just happened as I'm saying it. So I have two hunches. I don't think they're just going to reissue the guy as an exclusive. They haven't done that yet. Every SDCC exclusive has been a repaint of an existing figure. And the two that make the most sense currently, because this guy's already anime accurate for the most part, there's really not too much to change other than the boots. And that would require new sculpting, and that hasn't happened yet. So I think they're either going to repaint the Saiyan Saga Vegeta to be that orange and green color scheme, which I wouldn't mind, but I don't know if a lot of people even know what that is. Or I think they're going to repaint the soon-to-hit the US Goku to be the God Goku from the newest film. That's my hunch. There's nothing that indicates this guy's going to be a reissue as an exclusive. That would not match the pattern. So that's just my hunch. Let's get into it. Vegeta, not too many accessories, not a whole lot going on in the figure, but you gotta have them. You have to have the the Super Saiyan Vegeta in your Dragon Ball Z collection, in my opinion. He stands to the top of his head about 5 1/4 inches, about 6.5 inches to the top of his hair. So he's pretty well in scale with everyone else. He's got a really nice shape to him. I think his stature's about right. Some people complain that he should be shorter, should be taller, too bulky, whatever. I think it looks pretty good. When you see this, you see Vegeta. It's fine by me. He comes with a total of 2 or 3 different faces, all that swap onto one head. They just swap out with the front of the hair. So we have the smirking look to the side face. We have the teeth gritted look to the other side face with a vein. And then we have the nothing face. They all look pretty good. They're not 100% likeness to the animation, but that's gonna happen sometimes when you're going from 2D to 3D. So it definitely looks close enough like Vegeta to look like Vegeta. I'm quite happy with it. He's got the nice sculpting in the armor here. The bodysuit is pretty much just plain. He's got the gloves and the boots. He does have these weird shoulder things here that Goku had similar ones. So I don't know why they did that. They kind of went away from that as they went down the line. So that's a little odd. It's not my favorite aspect, but it's not really a big deal. Okay, and then we also have a total of 3 sets of hands, so 6 hands. We have 2 fist hands, of course, we need those. We have 2 completely open palms. They do all have shading on them, so that's a really nice feature. I don't know if it's going to show up on camera because it's so bright. So we have the 2 open palms, then we have these 2 less open palms. So you can get a pretty good array of poses out of that set of accessory parts. Not the most in the world, but probably good enough. So the head is just like every Figuarts figure I've seen to date. It's a ball peg for the head itself, which is actually a ball hinge that goes into the neck. It can swivel around and hinge, so that's good. The neck itself is at least a single ball peg, but it's really limited, so you're not going to get a whole lot out of that, so don't expect to do so. You don't really need it though. I mean, you can get pretty good range of motion out of the head. It's just a matter of spinning that ball hinge around and it'll work just fine. Shoulders have a ball peg that goes deep inside the body, and then it just has that kind of, what that ball part is that you see in there that's like cut open where the peg is going in. That's kind of like just a cup to kind of fill in the gap. So it's just a ball peg in there, pretty good range of motion that connects to a ball hinge for the actual shoulder, like a standard regular domestic action figure. Then we have a bicep swivel. Technically it's a double jointed elbow. You don't get the best range of motion out of it though. The top joint doesn't really accomplish a whole lot, so you get just over 90 degrees. Then the wrist is just like the neck, ball peg for the hand, and then we have the ball hinge that can swivel around in the forearm. So that's pretty nice, pretty good range of motion. For the waist, it's just like Gohan, it can be separated to give him better range of motion, although it's kind of loose, and since he doesn't have a belt, it doesn't work that well. So I wouldn't do that. I would leave it down and just have a lot more limited range of motion. It's disappointing, but it's true. You can pop it apart and move him around more, a lot more, but it's not going to look good from most angles. So that's a little disappointing. He's not a perfect figure. Even once it's closed, you don't have much of a swivel. I think it looks good enough to make up for it, but that might be an issue for you. The hips have the hinged ball peg, so you can drop them down to get the posing done. That is really helpful. I do appreciate that. So that ball peg there is on a hinge. You can go up and down. And then, of course, standard ball peg for the socket, and the thigh can swivel around that, so it's pretty nice. Double jointed knees. He does have a kneecap, so he looks pretty good from just about any angle. Looks really good, actually. The knees are really well done on this guy. The ankles, pretty limited. Not as bad as some of the other ones. The ball peg is pretty long in there, so it's a double ball peg in the shin and in the foot, so you can move it around a lot. It doesn't have a great ankle pivot or ankle rocker, but you can do it a little bit. It's probably good enough, could be better though. And then we do have a fairly decent toe joint. There's shading throughout the blue, shading throughout all of the armor, and shading throughout the gloves and hair and face, so really the paints are on point. Some of the articulation, as you saw, is a little bit problematic, but he still looks pretty darn good, and I do recommend him. And like I said, I think Vegeta is one of those must-haves. Don't waste your money on the knockoff. It doesn't look very good. Spend a couple extra bucks, or quite a lot, actually. If you're going to get the Vegeta figure, get the Vegeta figure, or wait for a reissue, but don't waste your money on the bootleg. Alright, there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.